Hello and welcome to an episode of something that we haven't yet decided on what we're going to call it. I thought bong answers and bong questions. I thought that was a good name for the show. But I'm F.A.R. And this is my good friend Left Alone.
Yep.
We should probably formally introduce ourselves. So I'm an artist from Stoke-on-Trent. I sing, rap, produce music, and we have collaborated on a project, a song that's called Kiss and Tell, which is available everywhere now from the 6th of August. Mm-hmm. And you are?
I'm Left Alone, formerly known as Mont, artist from Stoke-on-Trent, living in the Whitehall area of Kidsgrove, and yeah, it's a pleasure to be sitting down with F.A.R. here, and yeah.
So what we've done is we've compiled 10 questions that we're going to ask each other, put it into a bong, and what we'll do is we'll just pick questions from the bong and we'll try to answer it best we can. So
yeah,
if you want to go ahead for it, man, let's go.
Let's go.
First question.
Okay, first question from the bong is, what do you see visually when listening to Kiss and Tell?
That's a good question. I'm like very I think Kanye West calls it synesthesia,
yeah.
Right? But he's obviously dead far up his own arse, as amazing as he fucking is, and his music's sick. I can't put a claim to that, but I do see colour when I listen to music.
Yeah.
And this song struck me as very red, even though obviously my thing is the orange thing that I've got going on my socials and everything. But I immediately saw red, foggy. Obviously the song, from what I'm aware of, is about like cheating, being promiscuous. So I see, a sexual encounter between two people in like, a smoky club, and not being really sorry for it, not feeling guilty about it. That's what I get from it. That's what I envision. What about you?
Yeah, same. Very seductive, dark, definitely sinister, and when writing the song, that was the every intention of it, just being dark and seductive, as is most of the stuff I plan on writing. But yeah, Kiss and Tell, definitely a dark track. Yeah.
Would you say like you think in my way, where when you're writing music, you do see it as a visual thing, or that visual thing comes in early? It does for me.
Yeah, definitely, especially when playing certain notes or singing, it's definitely there straight away. Yeah, it's definitely see the colours. Red was all over it, smoky, smoke-filled bar, as I've said before, red lights, just really dark.
Well, fingers crossed we can get a video on it, maybe on that level. So next question from the bong. So who are your influences and how much do they have a role in your music?
Influences, I've got a lot of influences growing up listening to Michael Jackson, but I'd say modern influences would be Toro Yuma, probably artists that people haven't heard before, Zoo, deep house producer.
Well, you're heavily influenced by US artists, aren't you?
Yeah, definitely, yeah. I think nothing against UK artists. I think just growing up, listening to hip hop growing up, Lauryn Hill was a massive one, as far as vocals and singing. Of course, she could rap as well. Not something that I'm going to be doing, but yeah, Drake, Canadian. Drake is Canadian. Artists like that. The Travis Scott, American artist.
Yeah, man, I've been listening to a lot of Travis Scott lately. Because somebody had likened one of my tracks to Travis Scott. I was like, right, I've got to get on that. Got to hit that guy up, and yeah, it's fucking sick.
Dope. Yeah.
So mine is, mine ranges a lot because like I've got quite an eclectic taste in music. But my obvious one is like 21 Pilots. Have you ever heard of them?
No.
They're quite poppy, to be fair. They're always on the radio.
Yeah.
But they're US based. But I guess they like very pop inclined. Other influences are like sort of the Gorillaz, UK based artists. Muse have always been a big one.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's more to do with like lyrical content though, because like my lyrics are usually about end of the world scenarios, apocalyptic concepts. You know what I mean? And you know,
I like the Gorillaz.
I love the Gorillaz, man.
Manchester, aren't they? From Manchester, are they?
No, I'm not sure actually. I think he's from the south, because it was Oasis at the time.
Ah, right.
It was like there was a war between Oasis fans and Blair fans.
Right.
I think they were saying Blair was south based, and obviously Oasis are like fucking middle of the country, Manchester.
Right,
area.
with you, yeah.
What was it? And how much of a role do they play? I think it doesn't happen on purpose, because obviously as a producer, I try to be as unique as possible. Yeah. You know what I mean? You always try to put your own stamp on things.
Definitely, yeah.
But obviously, influences will always slip through, you know, coincidentally, purposely, or consciously or unconsciously. And I can tell a lot of people have listened to some of my tunes and gone, yeah, that's so obviously fucking 21 Pilots, you know. Yeah. But you know, as far as how much of a role they play, I guess they're in the background, but I'm not trying to be them, you know. Yeah. I think it's always important to put your own stamp on things. So yeah. It's
similar with me, because yourself and other people said it before, The Weeknd, especially with this,
that's another one actually.
Left Alone
for sure, man.
vibe that I'm bringing now as an artist, Left Alone. A lot of people listen and say, oh, you sound just like The Weeknd. I don't listen to The Weeknd.
It's funny that is, because you said that to me today. Yeah. And I remember I played this song to my sister, and straight away she went, that's The Weeknd. And I was like, mate, I fucking totally agree, because when I first heard it, when you know, when you put it forward to me, we were like, let's work on it together.
Yeah, definitely.
I was like, that is so Weeknd.
Just going back to that, the first artist that I mentioned was Michael Jackson. And I know that The Weeknd was influenced by Michael Jackson. So it is there.
So obviously influenced by Michael Jackson as well.
Yeah, definitely.
There's a lot of that. You know what I mean? That's fucking super effective, man. Right, next question. Let's go for it.
Next one. How is your current single different from any other tracks you've worked on prior?
The obvious difference from anything I've wrote prior is the fact that I've collaborated, you know, with two kind of different artists. We're sort of in the electronic genre. We definitely get each other on that playing field. But I would say, I think this delves way more into hip hop than anything I've really wrote before, even though I've given rapping a go. Yeah. But this seems to me like the influences that you're talking about, and like sounding more Weeknd, like this is really just pushing it out there and going, fuck it. It's auto-tune as well, you know, which is something that I've never really utilised in my own production. But it works. What about yourself? How's your music different?
Yeah, it's the same. I mean, it's always been a little bit ambient. So as far as how different my music is now compared to my music 5 years ago, I'd say, again, just the overall quality is more professional standard. And working with artists like yourself, it just brings a more professional vibe, and just the quality in general. I wouldn't say it's too different. I want it to be different. From what the track was originally, from what you've done to it now, it's a completely different track. Same vocals, but it's gone in a completely different direction I thought it would have done, but in a good way. Yeah, a really good way.
Yeah, we can kind of mix things up, don't we, when we recorded it? Yeah. It doesn't sound anything like the original, does it now?
No,
you know what I mean?
Not at all.
Proper twisted up. But that's a good thing about being, working in a collaboration, is that you come up with something that not what me or you would have come up with. And the end product was something that was like totally different, that me and you couldn't individually have fucking conjured up. Do you know what I'm saying?
I think when I was building the original production, it didn't sound simple. I suppose it did sound simple. As now it sounds complex. It's more, there's a lot more going on, but it doesn't seem. It's not like one of them tracks that, there's too much going on. Although there is a lot going on within the track. If you look into it as a producer point of view, you can understand that.
That's a good one. Does being from Stoke affect how you write your lyrics and music?
I And I wouldn't say it affects how I write my lyrics. I think I'm doing something, I wouldn't say completely different to everyone else, but the competition that I surround myself with, it can be a mixture of good vibes and bad vibes. But for me, I tend to just take it as it's good competition. So how I write now is, I look forward to writing. I look forward to hearing what the competition think. It doesn't affect it's no negative effect either way.
That might creep in, your heavily American influence.
Yeah, absolutely,
as well.
yeah.
So the sound, what's being produced here, or the culture, I guess, doesn't really affect you.
No.
I'd guess not in the way that it does with me.
Okay.
And I think from doing the previous podcast, that obviously ingrained me kind of into the Stoke-on-Trent culture.
Yep.
But as far as music's concerned, I would agree and say the same kind of thing, because I've always felt like I'm not really producing music that sounds like it is from Stoke.
Exactly.
I've been in a few situations where, say for example, like I've spoke to a publisher or something outside of Stoke-on-Trent, and I've said, well, this is my music, and they've gone, that's from Stoke, fuck off. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like, because I think Stoke is known as being a scene that you're probably unfamiliar with, is the indie scene, rock scene.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
That's been prominent throughout Stoke-on-Trent, music culture for the last 20 years. I guess it doesn't really influence me that much, but maybe the lyrics do, because I always talk about my personal circumstances, my place in the world, and I guess my surrounding environment, which is Stoke-on-Trent, affects how I think about things, So, yeah, that's a good question.
Nice.
Next one. That being said, there is some amazing artists in Stoke that are breaking that boundary now as well, we must say. But I imagine that's on another question about influences from the local scene. So,
yeah. What's it like working with the musician sitting opposite you?
Amazing. I think we've got such a synchronistic relationship where we obviously know. I think we know each other's roles very well. I see you as like a melody guy, so like you're ahead of me in that game, in my opinion, where you come up with a fucking ace vocal melody, or you've come up with a patch on your fucking door. That is catchy as fuck. Yeah. Whereas I see myself as a more technical guy, so like
definitely.
Do you know what I mean? I can get the mood. I get where you're coming from. I'm like let's fucking concentrate on that sound. Also, you're super dedicated, absolutely dedicated. You spend so much time making music, so it makes our working relationship, fucking absolutely buzzing, spot on. Yeah.
Brilliant. Same. I think, like I say, I've always wanted to work with you. And yeah, I think in regards to what you touched on about the melodies, I think in regards to your production, it's just a next level.
Yeah, thank
like
you.
I've worked with some talented producers from Stoke-on-Trent, but how diverse you are. You can hip hop. What was the track you did? Rockstar.
Oh yeah. That was my first.
When I heard those 808s in that track, I was like, whoa, you can do trap as well.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and I was like, just blown away. And it's just a pleasure to work with you. I've always wanted to work with you. I said the other day, I don't intentionally mean blow smoke up your arse.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Vocals, you can write. It's just amazing, mate. Just it's a pleasure working with you.
Respect, man.
Yep.
Next question. What are your local influences, and who would you like to work with in the future? I suspect that's more locally inclined question.
Yeah.
Local artists.
Local influences. I've always admired Dave Evans, Livo, through the producer. I don't know what name he goes under now, but amazing. I have had the pleasure of sitting in this room with him, working with him. As a producer, fantastic. Definitely an influence since I was 16 years old. He's a big one, and I wish him all the best with what he's doing with music. Young Range, another lad that I've known for years. He's doing absolutely massive, making massive moves now.
Yeah.
Someone who I'm really interested in working with. Throw a few hooks down on some of his tracks, that'd be brilliant. Darla Jade is one that I watched the podcast with her. I listened to her music. I followed her. I just think the professionalism with her, it inspires me. Like as far as the music videos as well, I'm watching.
Yeah,
I'm
she's
listening.
on it, man. She's the most consistent artist in Stoke-on-Trent.
Yeah, exactly.
She
Yeah,
doesn't stop.
Yeah.
I know a couple of people that work with her as well, and they say she is on it constantly.
Yeah.
You know, there's no fucking 5 minutes breaks with her. Apparently.
She's just amazing. Like, you know, some of the tracks as well. It's just, you know, I'm probably a bit of a secret fan on that one.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Never really spoke to it, but yeah, she's awesome.
Do you know she came into it quite late as well?
Right.
When she was telling me on the podcast. I can't remember, it might have been on air or off air, but she was saying, and she'd got a funny comment when she first started by some producer or something, saying, you know, you're so far behind. You know,
yeah, you don't need stuff like that, yeah.
Because she started taking it seriously a little bit later, but she's fucking still dead young, so she's fucking, you know, she's miles ahead of everybody else, in my opinion. So that's certainly one of my local influences.
Yeah.
But it doesn't just stretch musically, I guess. My influence is somebody that's played a big role in my musical life, career, whatever you want to put it, is a guy called Ben Nixon. He plays in a band called Science.
Right.
He's been like a real mentor to me the past 5 years, you know, in my previous projects and bands and shit. He's always been there. He's always been the go-to guy. So as far as influences are concerned, on like a personal level or a business level, he's definitely up there. I'd say yourself as well.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm not being ignorant. Yourself as well, yeah.
For sure. God, it's a funny question because I know so many bands and artists. I don't want to fucking...
Georgia Clee is another one for me as well.
Yeah, that's a good shout.
I've worked with her in here before. Again, we've had plenty of sessions in here with Georgia Clee. We've just never, you know, made a track.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We've sat down, we've written songs and stuff, but we've never actually gone and recorded one. Definitely need to do that with Georgia Clee.
Another big band I want to mention is probably Black Coast, which is like kind of antithesis to how the kind of music that I write, because they're like a metal band.
Okay.
But again, they're fucking professional heads, man. Like, you know, they know what they're doing.
Yeah.
And every time you see them as a live gig, they're just fucking phenomenal. They blow you out the water.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Awesome.
Next question.
Is
there any?
Any duplicates?
Got a couple more.
What is your strongest musical attribute?
That's a good one because you have to answer it for yourself. I think maybe structure, bigger picture. So when I write a song, I kind of don't focus too much on the detail. Mm-hmm. I try and get an overall vision, concept going. So I guess that's my strongest attribute. And production, I think, you know.
Yeah, definitely.
As like sort of a performing artist, sometimes I feel like I feel much stronger at home recording the music than I do, you know, standing on stage, for example.
Yeah.
So I guess the production side of things and just seeing an overall bigger picture.
Yeah. For me, it would probably be, I don't overload myself.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I try not to put too much on myself. Especially when writing, I don't tend to get a writer's block. I don't tend to get beat block when producing. I just enjoy the moments.
You don't. You are a constant fucking good idea machine, man. Honestly, like the amount of tracks that we've sat here, for example, or in your car, or whatever, and you've shown me tracks, and I'm just like, it's one fucking track after the other, and they're just constantly good ideas.
Yeah.
And you've got like 20, 30 fucking unfinished projects probably out there.
Yeah, it's definitely just waiting.
Yeah, you definitely don't get a writer's block, man.
No,
like I do.
No.
Well, that's it then. We're out to bong questions. So thanks very much, I guess.
Thank you very much.
And you know, listen to our new single "Kiss and Tell," out now on all platforms.
Yeah.
Because we do things professionally. I've been F.A.R.
And I've been left alone.
Well done.
Thank you.